He and his friends took me up into the mountains and told me, point blank, with a gun in their hand, that either I will go with them in there and tell their side of the story, or they'll take care of me.
Do you believe Tonya?
I could beat Nancy with my skating.
And can you forgive her?
I don't think we should teach our children to commit a crime and say it's okay.
America's most infamous Olympian in an exclusive interview next to Geraldo.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan. I am responsible, however, for failing to report things I learned about the assault when I returned home from nationals.
In many ways, my special guest today is both an example of the American dream and our national nightmare. She is without a doubt spunky, tireless, courageous. She's a young woman who fought her way out of a troubled, even impoverished childhood, one in which she lived in 8 different houses with a mom who married 7 different times. Our guest married her childhood sweetheart, a man who would later use and abuse her. She went on to become one of the great figure skaters of our time, only to become embroiled in a hideous plot to batter her main competitor. How, after all she has been through, she manages to keep her head up high is a mystery that perhaps will be solved by this, her first ever studio audience interview. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest is Tanya Harding. How you doing?
Fine. Thanks.
You feel all right?
I feel great, thank you.
A little nervous?
A little bit.
Now, I try to read the audience. That was, I think most people are curious to hear from you. I'm not sure most people are, I don't know, welcoming exactly, but they seem a bit open-minded. Now maybe enough time has passed that people will listen to your side of the story with... Anyway, how do you feel about being in public?
I'm fine. I'm a little bit nervous.
How do people respond to you? Do they respond with anger, with...
I would say 99% of the people are very positive towards me.
And what do they say?
Things like, you're a great skater, we're proud of you, keep going, you know, don't ever stop skating, things like that.
But you also get the ribs, the jibes, people saying some snotty things to you, don't you?
Not very much anymore, and usually if it is, it's a whole bunch of teenage kids or something who think that they're trying to be funny and who don't know me, and then once they say something, and then I'll say, well, I guess that's your opinion, that's all right. And then they're totally like turned around.
How do you feel about yourself?
I feel great about myself.
Are you embarrassed?
No, not anymore.
How do you get past something like that?
Having a strong family to be beside me.
And who is the strong family?
Well, there's my father and my friend Connie, who's here with me, my agent. People such as Linda and Greg, Shannon, they were the people who I sing with. And
that's right, you're a singer in a rock and roll band. Isn't that a lyric? Have you skated, Lillehammer, you skated before 1 billion people, one of the largest television audiences in the history of TV. Have you skated publicly since then, in competition?
No, I haven't.
You want to, though, don't you?
I guess I could come back and do it again if I had to.
What else would you do? What else will you be doing with your life but for skating? Isn't skating still most of your life?
It is my life. I skate every single day, and I have a couple of shows in the future that I'm really looking forward to.
What's the stupidest thing you did in this whole saga?
Trusted somebody I shouldn't have.
Are you talking about Jeff Gillooly, your former husband? In what sense? I mean, were you literally telling the truth in that little clip we opened the program with when you said you knew nothing of this plot whatsoever until it happened?
I knew nothing until 2 days after I got home. And the whole thing was just so blown out of proportion. I didn't know which way I was going, which way anybody was going. And
I don't know what you mean by that.
I didn't understand what was going on. I mean, I was so confused about who was doing what, and I mean, every time I wanted to do something, I couldn't do it. I was being pulled around to doing different things with other people that I didn't really want to be doing, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Nobody would ever tell me. To this day, Jeff never told me that he actually did it.
At what point, you mean he still denies his involvement?
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you become convinced that people who were working with and for you had committed this hideous deed?
When he and his friends took me up into the mountains and told me, point blank, with a gun in their hand, that either I will go with them in there and tell their side of the story, or they'll take care of me.
Your reaction was fear, I guess. Was it also anger?
Yes. I was very, very scared. And the thing is
Did you
that
think Jeff Gillooly was going to kill you?
I didn't know. I mean, when somebody has a gun at them, pointing at you, saying, see this? This is what's going to happen to you if you do not go along with our story.
Had he been an abusive husband prior to that?
Yes.
Did he literally beat you?
Yes. I have police reports and friends that, people didn't understand. I went and skated, practiced at midnight until 1:30, 3 days a week, before nationals and before Olympics and everything, because I couldn't go in the morning, because I had bruises all over my face.
So it would happen on a frequent basis?
Mm-hmm.
What would be the reason for his rage? Why would he do that to you?
I don't know. He wasn't happy with something, or the house wasn't cleaned up, or I didn't have dinner ready for him when he got home. It varied.
Can you estimate, as you sit here today, how many times you were battered by your former husband?
No.
Was it dozens of times?
Yes. We were together for 7 years, and I can't tell you how many times it happened.
Why did you stay with him?
I guess because I was young and stupid, and I was afraid of being alone.
So when the gun was pulled in this mountain meeting that you described, did you feel that he would carry through that threat? Did you feel that he would actually take your life if you snitched on him?
I didn't know if it would be him or not.
Or one of the thugs that surrounded him. When he started putting together this bizarre team of people that he knew, some from childhood, people with records, bullies, weren't you curious about that? Weren't you?
But see, I wasn't around. I was always training, getting ready for nationals, doing my costumes. I had boot problems, and I was hardly ever around. Sure, I knew John, and I had been to his house a couple of times, but I really didn't like going over there. And
Sean Eckert, one of the principal conspirators in the attack
Mm-hmm.
on Nancy Kerrigan.
Mm-hmm.
So how long after that meeting did you finally have the courage to talk, or was it only after the authorities came and threatened you with arrest?
No, I told the authorities when I went in to talk to them. And I also told them that I wanted protection.
From him?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still frightened of him?
Yes, but I don't see him. But when I've seen him on the road before,
Mm-hmm.
and I shake.
Really? You know, your defender said that you were the classic battered woman, and of course you didn't go to the authorities and tell. Of course you didn't put up a big stink about this conspiracy going forward because you had been so abused by him over a period of time. You thought that this would just be another in the series of abuse that you had suffered. Your detractors, however, said you had plenty of opportunity to let someone know, and that you really wanted to beat Nancy Kerrigan so badly that either consciously or subconsciously you were approving of this dreadful plot to break her knee.
Let me answer something. For one thing, I could beat Nancy with my skating. I was ready. I was in the best shape of my life. I was landing triple axel. I had beaten her before. I was ready. I was skating in the morning. I was skating at night. I was ready for that competition. The only reason why he did this is because he found out that I was going to leave him as soon as I was done going to nationals.
Had you made that very clear to him?
No.
How did he find out?
Somebody from the rink told him.
What did they say?
I don't know.
You really were planning on leaving Jeff?
I had already divorced him. I got a call from someone who was in the United States Figure Skating Association who told me that they liked him and they thought that I had a very stable life when I was with him. Obviously, they didn't know anything because they weren't there. They never saw it, but my friends and my family did. And they said, well, if you don't go back with him, you won't get the marks you deserve. And I asked them, I said, well, what do you mean? You mean to tell me if I go out there and I skate a perfect program, you're not going to give me the marks I deserve if I'm not with him? And she said, well, it's something like that.
Why would they do that?
Politics.
Because they thought you were easier to deal with when you were with Jeff than without him?
I don't know.
You don't think of yourself as being blameless in this, though? You don't think of yourself as being an innocent victim, do you?
No. I mean, I took it into my own hands to decide when I would tell the authorities what I found out. But I was so scared. I told them, I said, I want protection. I didn't think they could give it. I asked for it before, and he turned around and he shows up at a boatyard back in 1991 and threatens to break my legs in front of 20 other people. I mean, if I'm supposedly having a restraining order against this person, the police show up and he talks his way out of it, what makes you think that they would be able to do it again?
What do you want these people to think of you?
That I am a good person. I have a strong family that's behind me. And yes, I've made mistakes, but I have paid for them. I did 500 hours of community service that took me a year and a half to do. I've paid all my fines, plus I just want to go on with my life. I want to be happy. And I'm still the same person I always was before. I'm a strong individual. I skate every day. And I have hopes and dreams. You know, one of them was to win Olympic gold. It didn't happen, but that's okay. I go on with my life, and I just would hope that you guys would forgive me for being involved with somebody that wasn't nice.
Okay. She's Tanya Harding. This is her first ever exclusive in-studio audience interview. She's the focus of this edition of Geraldo.